Hey, I guess we're live here. I didn't see the intro, but that's okay. Happy Friday to everybody out there. Hopefully, everybody got on Derek's picks yesterday. Social release 3, a 3-0 day. It was funny. The 2 days we had the show wasn't a lot out there. We didn't force anything, but there wasn't a lot out there. Yesterday showed a lot. So just heads up, everybody. Follow the Covers Twitter feed. Sometimes Derek sees value in the morning and we put it out. And that can even go for the same today. Speaking of that, good to see you, Derek. How's the board looking today?
Board is looking pretty good. Looked a lot better this morning. We've had quite a bit of line movement. We lost kind of one play that was looking amazing this morning. Is just gone entirely now at any reasonable number. But there's a couple of good ones out there still.
So mentioning that, we lost Dustin May. That was a number that was gone. And we've been mulling over the idea. We talked about it on Wednesday. To get ahead of the market, usually there's pretty big movement between like 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, kind of when people are up and looking at numbers and hitting the market. So next week, we are going to try out 9:15, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, a.m. Eastern time to try to get ahead of that because we've been missing some numbers. We're going to just try it out next week, see how it goes. We'll probably be ending up, I would imagine, with the better number most times.
Yeah.
But yeah. This was a show that was at 1 o'clock. We've moved it back for value, and now we're moving it back to 9:15 next week. So set your dials for that. We'll remind you, but 9:15 going forward next week. Let's see how it goes. And saying that, we got a couple plays today. Are we ready, Derek?
Let's do it.
Perfect. Let's get to the release procedure quick here. Derek's projections have great influence on the market, so we do this so everybody can hopefully get the same price. I'll tell you the best book and a secondary book where we're getting this at, give you some time to log in. Then we'll tell you the game in question we're looking at, give you some time to find that game. Then we'll tell you the betting market, again, giving you some time, and then followed by the player, the bet, the over, and the under. And then at the end, just let us know, because not everybody has the ability to use every book. Let us know the book you're using. Let us know the price and any movement you're seeing. So release number 1, FanDuel. Secondary books, we're at Bet Rivers, Canby Books, Unibet. FanDuel, the game in question, Cards at Dodgers, the late one. St. Louis at LA, the last game of the night. Find that game. The prop market we're looking at, pitcher strikeouts. FanDuel, Cards, Dodgers, pitcher strikeouts for release number 1, Friday, April 28th. St. Louis starting pitcher Zac Flaherty under 5.5 Ks, minus 104. Flaherty under 5.5 Ks, minus 104. Let us know if you're getting that number. Let us know if it's moving on you. I guess the Dodgers are getting some bodies back after apparently everybody had a baby. It wasn't a great lineup. I loved how your projections yesterday had that baked in because LA was an easier lineup yesterday. It certainly was, but they'll get some guys back. Max Muncy probably likely back. And this market might be slightly inflated because of Zac Flaherty coming off a 9K outing, which, like I said, probably inflating the market. Decent hitting conditions at Dodger Stadium, which can't be said in a lot of places today. 69 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing out. This is still, Derek, a sub-K per inning pitcher. The bat has him at 8.3 Ks per 9. We're seeing some minus 135s out there. What are the projections for Flaherty, and what do you like in this spot?
Projection for Flaherty is 4.9 strikeouts. So, a little more than half a strikeout under the line. We're getting it pretty close to even money. That projects it to win 63% of the time. And it's a good spot. Flaherty, I think, is overrated in general. You mentioned he's coming off a high strikeout performance, but this is not a guy who has looked good since his injury. At the end of last year, he came back and he was walking everybody. And this year, even though his ERA is 3.29, he's still walking everybody. His xFIP is 5.2. He's just not the same pitcher he was before the injury. He's in a tough spot against the Dodgers. It's a really, really tough swing in terms of park factors for him. He pitches at home in, one of the 5 or so best pitchers parks in baseball. And he's going into a top 5 hitters park today to face what is a good offense that, again, is potentially getting some guys back now. So this is a spot where I really like the under on Flaherty. Some of the sharper books I've seen lines minus 135, minus 137, I think. So this is a spot where we're getting him minus 104. This is nice.
Yeah, Ken Wood earlier in the chat kind of alluded to it. He said, Derek, how do you feel about Flaherty? Under 17.5 outs. Do you have that projection off the top of your hand? I would assume it's probably some value to the under.
It's 14.8 for the bet. So depending on the odds you're getting, that's certainly a bet that is probably going to be having some positive expected value.
There's a reason why it wasn't widely available. Got minus 104, swung down to minus 126 already. That's great to hear. And same thing with the May markets. We've seen the May markets drop drastically, outs, strikeouts. So could be a tough day for both pitchers. Jumping over to release number 2, sticking with FanDuel, secondary book, BetMGM. The game in question here, Tampa Bay at the White Sox. The Rays at the White Sox. You're still at FanDuel. Shouldn't take you long to stay over. Find that. Go over to pitcher strikeouts. Rays, White Sox, pitcher strikeouts. Number still there. For release number 2, Tampa Bay starting pitcher Zac Eflin under 4.5 Ks, minus 108. Eflin under 4.5 Ks, minus 108. That's what we're getting here at FanDuel. Pinnacle sitting at minus 135 right now to the under. The market should probably come down that way. I believe MGM was about minus 110, minus 115, bet 365, I think, in that area. Let us know where you're getting it. Let us know any price movements. I got Ken Wood says, I got the out on the previous play. Fantastic. Eflin, you mentioned you go to Tampa Bay. Sometimes you can fix things. The pitching staff's great. They know how to work with people. I mean, sometimes when they get rid of people, they know when that leash is done too. But we still have just 3 starts from Eflin here. 67 pitches in his last outing. Went 5 innings. I don't think it was a coincidence that he saw just 18 batters. So there could be a blueprint for him that he doesn't see the third time through the order. And I was mentioning off air, insane called strike whiff percentages numbers, but we're looking at a small sample size, and 2 of those 3 games include Oakland and Detroit, who are 2 of the worst offenses in all of baseball. 16th in K percentage are the White Sox, so that's an average matchup. Talk me through your matchup here. Talk me through your projections and your process for Eflin on the under 4.5 Ks here, Derek.
Projection is 3.8, so we're getting about 3/4 of a strikeout under the line, fairly close to even money. Like you said, this is a good line relative to the rest of the market. Pinnacle sitting at minus 135. There's a few other books around minus 130. This one I struggle with a little bit because I really like Zac Eflin as a pitcher, and I think he's going to be even better this year with the Rays. They made some changes to his repertoire in spring. He started throwing, sweeper, which is in vogue now. This year so far, he's been throwing a lot fewer fastballs, which is generally a good thing. But the matchup is tough. Like Flaherty, he's going from one of the best pitchers parks in baseball to one of the best hitters parks in baseball, especially in terms of home runs. This is the second best park in baseball for home runs. And he's facing, a White Sox offense that is not especially strikeout heavy. So
it's not a great offense. It just doesn't strike out a lot.
Exactly. And really what this play is about more than anything else is about his leash. Like you said, it's the Rays. They generally don't let their guys go very deep to begin with. They don't like guys going through third time through the order because math. And Eflin is
exactly. No, but there's already a blueprint. There's already a schedule in line, and very seldomly do they deviate. He hasn't gone more than 15 outs in any of his starts.
Yeah, exactly. Now he did, I think, miss a little bit of time, came back from an injury. So he's not even fully worked up or ramped up right now. The bat's projecting, what is the number here? 82 pitches max for him today. So, just based on that alone, it's going to be tough for him to get to 5 strikeouts. If he's, unless he's just like super efficient, which can happen. But it's tough to do it in a tough park on those, that few pitches. So I like the under here for him. I'm sure throughout the year we'll probably be looking at some overs, but for now, the under is the move based on the leash.
Yeah, I don't think Tampa Bay is really going to push their starting rotation too much going forward.
Especially with all the injuries. Like,
That's what I mean. And then you have Taj Bradley, who I'm sure they're probably going to cap at some point. So they need to save some innings for veterans like Eflin here, who they'll probably ramp up slowly. And like I said, exactly 18 batters faced in his last outing. Probably not coincidence. So let's recap the two plays from Friday, hopefully putting some money in our pockets. Starting off with Jack Flaherty under 5.5 Ks, got that at -104, move quickly. And then Zac Eflin under 4.5 Ks, -108. Some decent prices relative to other books and the market. Happy that we got those. But as we said at the top of the show, we'll be moving next week to 9:15 a.m. Eastern time, next Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, hopefully to get some better value in some markets that we're seeing move quite a bit from the 9 o'clock to showtime, 11 o'clock Eastern time. So
I'm excited about this because really basically every single show we've done this year, we've had lines move between what we're looking at in the morning and showtime. We've lost picks. We've gotten much worse lines on probably like 80% of the picks that we've been looking at. So this is going to help, I think. The point of the show really is to kind of show people how professional sports bettors do this. Like, there's a lot of shows out there where people are kind of just giving out picks. They think they know the sport, whatever, but they don't really understand the betting component of it. And what we're trying to do is make this useful for people to see how sports bettors are doing this, and real sports bettors who are making a profit off of this type of stuff. One of the things they do is they get in early on the lines before they move. And so if we can kind of showcase that a little bit better by moving our show earlier, I think this is just going to be a win for everybody.
Yeah, we're already, I would say the 11 o'clock show, we're kind of getting mid-tier value. Opening lines, boom, the value's quickly gone. And then we kind of see it zap again at about 9 o'clock to 10:30. And then, there seems to be tiers of levels of when we're seeing the movement. And I think starting at 9:15 going forward next week, we're going to get ahead of the market even more than we are. And we were already sitting with great closing line values. So let's get that out of the way. We'll make sure everybody knows going forward next week, 9:15. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. This is the Bat X Release Show on Covers. Do us a like before you jump out. Hit the like, subscribe button. It really helps us out. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you around.